Hey guys, right, let's talk about the Component 1 portfolio for Eduqas GCSE drama. Now you can tell I'm being serious, I have my glasses on. Right, when we are doing this, you've got your 3 questions that the board are wanting to ask. And essentially, if we break it down, you're looking at your first paragraph telling how you develop and research your ideas. Second paragraph is telling us that you understand a little bit about the practitioner, genre, style, and how you've used the ideas. And the third paragraph is how you've refined your ideas. And that is really as simple as it is. So when I ask students to do this portfolio, the very first thing I say to them is write a sentence at the very beginning that states the stimulus that you were using and the practitioner or genre. It's just one sentence, and what that sentence does is focuses the reader so that everything that they're reading after that, they know what they're expecting. It makes sense to them. So just write one sentence at the very beginning that says that, and then you're going to go into the kind of answering the first question. The key when you do this is looking at the main words, and so obviously develop and research are 2 of the main words in that very first paragraph. So you want to start by saying how you researched your ideas. So we researched the quote, we researched the piece of art, we did some research into the song, we brainstormed our ideas. So you're looking at explaining what you found out from your research, and then you're telling us how that research then informed your ideas, and this is where your development comes in. So you might then tell us a little bit about what your piece is about. Now your piece needs to be original, so do try and make sure that you are using original ideas where you can. So you want to tell us about your story. Make sure that you've got I suggested in there a couple of times, because that shows your individual contribution to the piece. So we decided to do a story based on grief. I suggested that to link in with the photograph, we could do such and such. Right, once you've told me your idea, then you're going to put in what the practitioner or the genre is that you've chosen to do, and you're going to link it into that idea. So for example, if you were doing something about grief, you might say, we therefore decided that physical theatre was going to be the best option because it meant that we could physicalise the emotions of grief. It should never be that you're actually saying, we wanted to do physical theatre and so therefore we came up with the idea. What you're trying to demonstrate is that you can get an idea, and then from that idea you understand what would be the appropriate form or genre or practitioner to use with that idea. So if you were doing something that had a social political context to it, then you might want to use Brecht as one of your practitioners, because that's sort of, you know, the background of his work is he did a lot of stuff that had social political content to it. So you're showing that you understand that this is the right practitioner, genre, style to use for this particular piece. You're demonstrating that. You're then going to tell us a little bit about how you develop those ideas using some rehearsal techniques. So you're going to say that, you know, you've used as a rehearsal technique to develop our ideas. We decided to use hot seating. Now, you can't just leave it as, you know, we did hot seating or we used improvisation as a rehearsal technique. You need to tell me how that then informed your choices. So for example, you might say we hot seated our characters. Now from that, I learned that my character is very timid when they're around so-and-so, Mr. Bing. And therefore I decided to have a soft tone with a low pitch. And my posture was hunched over to show that I was feeling very timid. Yet show us that you understand how to use those rehearsal techniques to develop your ideas further. Same thing with improvisation. We decided to use improvisation as a rehearsal technique. From this, we found that this moment was a really important moment in the scene. Therefore, to highlight it, we made sure that we did, okay, and put it in. So show us that you understand. Okay, so that is your paragraph 1 and your very opening statement. So let's look at paragraph 2. Now, paragraph 2, you're looking at the practitioner or the genre. So say, for example, I was doing Emma Rice. I might give you a sentence telling you a little bit about Emma Rice, because again, this shows my research, this shows my background. I'm then going to list, and remember, you can do this as bullet points as well. I'm going to list out the techniques that Emma Rice uses. So I'm showing that I understand this practitioner. From there, I'm going to pick 3 of my ideas, and I'm going to say what I did, how I used something, and why. Okay, so you're going to say it might be that we used narration. So you're not just going to say we used narration because we wanted the audience to understand what we were talking about, because that's only telling me what you did and why you did it. It's not telling me how. So you want to tell me about a line of narration that you used. You want to tell me about the pitch, pace, tone. You want to tell me about where the actor was when they said those lines. I want to be able to read the portfolio and then, you know, be able to look at the performance and go, that's the bit they told me about in paragraph 2. And I know why they did that now, you know, I've got the why behind it. So that middle part is the bit that's really important. And actually that's the bit that most people miss out. So even if you're doing physical theatre and you're doing a chair duet, pick out a moment that you think is important from that chair duet that symbolises something, that tells me something, that's physicalising something about that story. And I'm going to use that. And I'm going to do this 3 times. So the what, how, why is really, really important. So looking at the 3rd paragraph, I'm now on to refining and developing. Now for me, this is the easiest paragraph. Don't tell me about ideas that you didn't use at all or something else. That's the same for the 1st paragraph, actually. Don't tell me about all the ideas that you discarded. Tell me about the things that you needed, you know, that you actually used in your piece. So for this one, you're going to tell me, first of all, we did such and such. However, this didn't work because. Therefore, I suggested, or somebody else suggested, try and get those I suggested in there in each paragraph. I suggested we did such and such. This worked better because. And it really is as simple as that. And you just give 3 different examples of how you've refined. And so in order to refine this, we did. In order to develop this further, we used. Okay, and it really is, that last paragraph is as simple as putting that in there. But tell me what didn't work and why it didn't work. Tell me what you changed it to and why that worked better. Show that you understand that something did work better for you. You're probably going to find that your last paragraph may well be your shorter paragraph, and that you use more words on the first one and slightly you know, more than the 3rd one in your 2nd paragraph as well. But you'll probably find that the 3rd one, because you can make it quite succinct, will help. Get rid of all of those words with the howevers, moreovers, so you don't need it. Keep it succinct and to the point. Make it seem like it's a little bit of a bullet point. And remember, you can go up to 999 words without being penalised. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about illustrative material. So when we're talking about illustrative material, we're thinking of things like your brainstorm, put a picture of that into your work. We're thinking of maybe pictures of you hot seating, that could go in there. We're thinking of a storyboard, that could maybe go in, or a picture of the stage, what it looked like at the beginning, and then once you've done your developments, what it actually ended up looking like at the end. Maybe you've done a role on the wall, that could go in to help. Maybe you've done some research on your practitioner or a genre, that could go in. Remember, with any annotations that you do, if you were to insert the picture and then write the annotations, those annotations would count in your word count. So take a picture of it and put that picture in, and then those words don't count in your work. just a little tip. But try and get those photos and things as you go along. Don't leave it to the end. So my final tip for you is don't leave this till last minute. Your ideas are going to change as you go along. That's the very nature of your piece for component one. But try and get things written down as you go along, even if it's just in rough form, because then you won't have so much to do at the end. You can then cut things out, look at what's most relevant, look at what gives you different examples, get rid of those bits and make sure that you've kind of got 3 examples in each paragraph. 250 to 300 words per paragraph is not a lot of writing, not when you're putting all the description in. So don't panic about it. Just, do a little bit at a time, and you'll get there in the end. Any questions, just ask in the comments below and I will try and get back to you. Have a lovely day.